100% healthy, Patrick, after an illness, a non-COVID illness yesterday?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just something that happened after the game, and just needed a couple of days of rest and some medication to get me back on my feet.
St. Brown has kind of developed himself into quite a receiver. I guess your thoughts on what has kind of helped him develop to the player he's at now?
How tough he is. You can just tell that no matter what the situation is, he feel like he's stacked against the odds. You could tell the passion that he plays with, that there's a chip on his shoulder. And you can't do nothing but respect guys like that. Play extremely hard. Each and every quarter. He's a guy that's extremely hard to tackle. Reminds me a lot of Golden Tate back in the day when you get the ball in his hands, how elusive he is, after the catch. So a very, very dynamic player. We have to understand where he is at all times on the football field.
Was that receiving core with Jameson Williams added into the mix?
Man, they're very explosive, and it just seemed like the offense is just starting to catch their stride over the last month and a half. Scoring on 8 of their possessions last week. Putting 30-plus points and within their last 3 on their last 3 opponents, something like that. So those guys are starting to grow some confidence within each other, within the scheme. You can tell that those guys are leaning on one another, and we just have to make sure that we understand this is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a grind. If we want to go out Sunday and be divisional champs, we have to go take it. We know these guys not going to lay down and give it to us. We have to go out there and play our best football for 60 minutes.
What have you noticed from Cam Dantzler over the past month or so while he's been out? Like, how has he been kind of staying engaged while he's not been on the field?
Yeah, he's been in meetings every day, treatment extra early, around the clock, just trying to make sure that, he's in the best position possible when he do return back into the lineup. Look like it's going to be this week. Extremely happy for him. He's still doing his daily due diligence that he's been doing as if he was still in the lineup, watching film, because you want to stay engaged. You want to stay engaged into the game and also be able to help Caleb or Duke, when BA was out there giving those guys little nuggets that they may have not seen in film study.
How do you prepare for Jameson Williams when you haven't really seen him much in the regular season? There's not much film to go off of. Is it preseason stuff, or is it? I guess there wasn't much of that either. Do you go back to college?
Nah, man. You just honestly you try to look at him as much tape, not no college tape because you won't really get a feel off him, but just got to go back and try to get a feel on how the offense is trying to utilize him. So it's going to be a ton of unscouted looks that we haven't seen with him in the lineup, but that's what adjustments come in from. Coach do a great job of putting us in the best position if something is hurting us throughout the game. So we just have to wait and see how they're going to utilize him in their offense moving forward, and hopefully we'll get a beat on that earlier than later, so we can try to put keep a roof on top of the house for sure.
I think Jared Goff said he's playing his best football. What have you seen from him on tape?
Yeah, I would have to agree. Like I said, this offense, this team in general, just seemed like they're just starting to catch their stride. Jared has been lights out throughout this month and a half of football. St. Brown has been lights out. The running backs, these guys like to play a specific brand of football. You can just kind of see it starting to all come together, for them. So our job is, to make sure that we minimize the big plays, the explosive plays. Try to slow these guys down on first down much as possible. And we know this is a very, very risky team, so we have to be prepared to line up on defense on fourth down. I believe they went for it 6 times last meeting. I think there was like 3 and 13 on third down. So our whole mindset is, this week, if it's 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 4 or less, we have to make sure that we're winning those downs and not putting them in manageable fourth down situations.
I know that the division title isn't the ring that you're looking for, but kind of maybe validation for coming back here to have a chance to win that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what we had in this locker room. That's why I was so eager, wanting to be back in this locker room. But at the end of the day, it's just one box checked. We understand that. That's one of our goals that we set out for ourselves, and we have 2 more that's out there ready for us to capture them.
Guys like Harrison and Jordan have talked about the end of the games, those late situations, and kind of the confidence from the experience you guys have in there. What do you feel in those moments?
Just waiting to see who's going to make the play. At this point, because we've seen it so much throughout the season. I believe we have a record now, if I'm not mistaken, 9 games within 1 score, and we're winning those ball games. Last year we couldn't win those ball games, couldn't find a way to win those ball games, and now having the guys come back from that last year team, understanding what position we was in last year and not able to, be successful in those situations. Now coming back, it was a point of emphasis coming into this season. Now that we have a different, terminology, different scheme, KO, his point of emphasis of being situational masters is showing for us out there on the field. And at the end of the day, like I just said, we know somebody's going to make the play. We just don't know who. And all we're waiting for is for somebody in that purple jersey to make that play. And it's been happening all year for us, all year long for us. We just want to continue to build confidence off that and also continue to lean on one another.
You're surprised when Harrison Smith flipped you the ball there.
I wasn't surprised. I thought he was going to try to give it to me a little bit earlier because us older guys, we don't like running too far. So he took half of it and tried to give me the other half, but it didn't work out as planned.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, guys.